I know, it looks like I'm peeking. Well, you know, part of it is I'm mimicking the sun.
Yeah, it's not.
Which has been peeking in and out. So I know, isn't that crazy? So if...
Well, no, you can see she's got a more even light on her with all the floods.
Oh, actually, we can see the difference because even though we're inside, the lighting changes because we haven't moved our lighting.
Nope.
It's all based on what the lighting is going on. It's like, oh, perfect example. I know, it sounds really crazy, but I guess, oh yeah, there's more than just talking about the sun, even if you're here in Southern California. But for now, we're going to bring Oldecam on for comments on the headlines of today.
Yeah, I don't know. Obama seeking out skeptics of healthcare reform. Well, all he has to do is to spit into the wind and he'll find a skeptic of healthcare reform, so he's not really looking very hard. Colonial Bank Group, 4 other banks shut down. Well, this is the 5th largest failure in American history, but these things were going to stop under Obama's government. Like Obama said, there's a lot of Obama. Obama denounced his emphasis on healthcare protest. Well, because this was supposed to be the victory lap for the Democrats. They're supposed to go home to the cheering crowds. Instead, they went home to a lot of senior citizens like myself that are unhappy with what he's doing. California declares emergency as wildfire spread. Well, we've got a dry, windy weather, and at this time of year, that leads to fires. With El Nino coming, you know, it's going to make things worse because the area that's burned is going to get wet, and it's going to just flood everybody with mud. Death panels weren't in health care plan, but the Senate drops them anyway. Well, how can you drop something that wasn't in the plan to begin with? Even the comics are having a good one question. Well, it wasn't there, then how did you remove something that wasn't there? Here's another one too. Diversity czar. Did you know we have a diversity czar? With the FCC, he wants to fine radio stations 100% of their operating budgets a year in order to make up for the lack of diversity in the industry. This money would go to helping minorities set up radio stations to work in competitions with the people that he's bankrupting by taking all of their operating capital. I mean, it makes sense though. Drops in consumer confidence. Price is temper recovery hopes. Well, the prices are too high. People don't have any money to buy things. They're not buying anything because they're not working. I mean, it just all goes together. But unfortunately, the Obama people can't seem to get that through their head. Gingrich advice for Palin 2000 political comeback. He said, well, she's going to have to get out there. Well, yeah, I think, you know, get a job as a commentator, get out there, make speeches, get a resident in the lower 48. But it means he's basically giving up on the fact. He knows at his age, they're not going to elect another person my age to the presidency. Those days are over, folks. Too many of the people don't trust people my age, and my people don't trust people of that age. So, Seattle is frontline in the nation's grocery bag fee battle. Well, you realize that like an average customer in a grocery store does 12 bags of groceries at a time. And if you did, you know, 25 cents a bag, what that's going to come to, and then the little bags that you can buy for $1 don't hold as many groceries, so you're going to have 5, 6 of them, and then you most of the time you forget to bring them with you, which means you got to buy new things. It's just an ungodly expansion. The public doesn't like it. GEO backs away from end-of-life counseling. Did you realize that according to the Democratic Party, it was actually the Republicans that put all of that into these plans, not the Democrats? You know, I can't find any Republican that remembers actually putting this into the plans, but according to the press, that's exactly what happened. And the Democrats were against it, the Republicans were for it. Let's see, for-profit colleges boost lending and enrollment. Well, all colleges are for profit. They wouldn't exist anymore if they weren't for profit. That's why they have football teams, folks, and big athletic departments. In a very red state, Obama only found total agreement over Obamacare. They thought that, most of the Congress thought that was funny also, that he's losing support among his own party, you know, other than the real liberal left, and he can't find critics of his plan because, you know, his polling shows that the people of this nation overwhelmingly favor his reform. Well, if they overwhelmingly favor it, then why is he out there campaigning every single day, which they said is losing him more and more support, because the more he's out there, the less people are supporting him. Manson following on a squeaky out of prison. Basically, that makes people very happy that a person that tried to kill a president was basically let out on the streets. Another one, you're Bob Dylan, New Jersey police want to see some ID. Well, first of all, if he'd had any ID with him, he would have said Robert Zimmerman. not Bob Dylan. So he'd have been in trouble saying, "Oh, I'm Bob Dylan," with an ID that says Bob Zimmerman. They say stocks finished the week down as reports dull optimism. You realize that there have been 4 up weeks, 5 down weeks. So the economy's not, while it may look like the economy is going up, there's been more downs than there have been ups, even though we're up by about 1,000 points. Clunker program dings used car sales and donations. Well, there are no used car sales and people aren't donating anything. And the fact that dealers too, I found, the dealers, where are we going to get our money, folks? You know, where is that billion? Where is that extra, another $2 billion that is not going to the car dealers? Because, I mean, like they said, one guy submitted things for 10 cars, he got back 1. They also submitted things and said, well, you didn't qualify, that you may have given them $4,500, but only qualified for $3,500, so you just lost $1,000. That's how the program is working. Like they said, dealers yet to see most cash with clunker payments. I just read that one. But it is amazing. I mean, and the government will tell you where the money's going. They will tell you that 8 out of the top 10 cars that are being sold are Asian. And none of the top 10 cars that are being sold are Chevys or Chryslers. Amazing, isn't it? Then Michael Phelps will be decided for invalid driver's license. It means he's not going to be driving for a while to get in an accident, because this will automatically result in a suspended license when he goes to renew it. Controller bantering on phone before crash. Well, yeah. The air traffic controller, they said, I don't understand this, but it shouldn't make any difference because they're out of the air traffic controllers. So when they get below a certain level, the air traffic controller is no longer in charge. So if you're supposed to be watching here and not watching there, it doesn't really make any difference that they're talking down here, because you're not supposed to be watching that anyway. Liberal bloggers are demanding Obama simply crush the opposition. Well, unfortunately, the opposition, which are senior citizens like myself, are the ones that put him in office, not necessarily because they supported him, but because they sat on their hands and didn't vote for McCain because they didn't want a senior citizen in office. Consumer agency is blocked from some import data. Well, I love that. The drugs you're going to be getting into the United States under Obamacare to lower the cost, they're not being kept well track of by the Consumer Protection Agency and the Federal Drug Administration, because they want to get them in, and they really don't care how they get them in, just as long as they're cheap. They say China trade ruling helps U.S., but piracy a problem. Well, yeah, because you can make all the rulings you want, but China piracy, I mean, most of the dump-off things you're getting are coming from China, folks. Consumer inflation tumbles as shoppers hold back. Well, if nobody's spending any money, which means they're not buying houses no matter what they're saying, because you get an indicator they're not buying houses is the construction products, the things that you use to build houses with the things that go into the houses, they're not selling. If they're not selling, you're not building homes, because there's nothing. If you don't buy, numbers going down, metal, the plumbing parts, the hardware, all that stuff that goes in the house, they're not selling at the moment. So therefore, when they're saying that houses are being built now, from what? A hacker used Twitter to control infected PCs. Well, Twitter was down again today for some unknown reason. And basically, it's the same thing as when you can have flat panel TV sets with interactive connectivity that are connected to your computer. If you're plugged into the computer, they come to the computer to your computer. You're telling to go from the internet to the television to the computer, and you're screwed, folks. And then the government dallies, airline passengers suffer. Well, yeah, because they can't get anybody. The consumer rights people basically can't consider anybody on both sides of the issue to pass the consumer rights bit. Will Obama's promises get mugged by reality? Well, they already are. People just simply are asking, where are you going to get the money to pay for it? Because you tell us you got to take it from Peter to pay Paul. Well, unfortunately, I'm with Peter, and Paul is now, so. Sonia Moynier is starting the new justice of empathy. She's going to empathize with the people that she's going to make decisions on. That's what they said, that we've needed a justice like this. Instead of the other justices of the Supreme Court realized that empathy is more important than the law. We'll have a better nation because it'll be more compassionate. Payzar collects firms' proposals. Well, basically, it's unconstitutional, illegal, and when it goes to the court system, because the Supreme Court is not to the left, they're going to throw out the Payzar's recommendations. We have Monty Bottle of the March between the Animal Kingdom. You should wait till the last out before you take your victory lap.
close for you.